Hello and welcome to another edition of Currently in Quincy. I'm Joe Catalano, and on today's program we chat with Lisa Braxton from the National Fire Protection Association here in Quincy. Learn all about fire safety during these winter months. First though, we'll check out the weather and the news for you this morning. Currently in Quincy, kind of cloudy and damp out there. It's 38 degrees right now. The clouds will win out today. May even have some more of those ocean effect snow showers later on. Temperatures will top off in the mid 40s this afternoon, dropping off into the mid 30s this evening. For tomorrow, the clouds again win out, kind of a carbon copy of today, really. Temperatures in the low to mid 40s. Nice on Wednesday, sun and clouds, but look at, we warm back up to near 50 degrees, and some rain moves in here on Thursday, especially in the morning, with some sunshine later in the day. Highs Thursday into the mid 40s, and then winter will make a comeback here by the end of the week. Right now, kind of cloudy, 38 in Quincy. In the news today, Quincy Mayor Thomas Koch says that there is a philanthropist that has taken a keen liking to the city of Quincy and wants to help develop a new performing arts center at the current site of the so-called new City Hall, the glass building in Quincy Center. During his inaugural address last week, the mayor said that current building is inadequate to serve for city offices.
1970s glass City Hall building. In the coming years will require substantial capital investment for things like a new roof, new elevator, fire suppression systems, the replacement of a failing and extremely inefficient glass window system. Under my proposal, the college will pay rent to defray the cost of the finance of the project, but unlike typical lease arrangements, it will not be subject to increases every year. So for 25 years, the college will be able to model and create budgets based on a consistent, knowing lease each year. There is no question about the opportunity Quincy College provides. There's no question about its future potential. A state-of-the-art education facility at the doorstep of the Quincy MBTA station and adjacent to this beautiful park will ensure that the potential is captured and the opportunity it creates realized by generations of students, particularly those from Quincy.
Koch says the Performing Arts Center would be the centerpiece of the new Hancock Adams Common and would provide a permanent home for groups including the Quincy Art Association, Quincy Symphony Orchestra, Quincy Choral Society, and other arts organizations. He says it's unclear if the new center would be city-owned. However, he says it would have to be self-sustaining. Father Bill's homeless shelter here in Quincy is preparing to move to a new building across the street from its current location on Broad Street as part of the city's plans to build a new police station. In a video produced by Father Bill's, Executive Director John Yazwinski says the change gives them the opportunity to try and keep more people off the streets.
Our vision is to have a much smaller emergency housing, emergency shelter, but have more of a housing resource opportunity and what we call housing first. And housing first is that you take the people that really need a lot of support, that are expensive to the community, that go in and out of mental health institutions, in and out of corrections, in and out of detoxes, in and out of police stations, that are very expensive, to provide to them supportive housing immediately. We've had about an 85–90% success rate of those people staying in housing with those supports. It's proven to be very successful for that person, but it's also been very much a cost savings to the community.
Now, under the current plan, the city will buy a building for Father Bill's. However, it would be up to the agency to raise the funds necessary to create the permanent new apartments, in addition to a day shelter. Soon, Quincy residents may be getting a visit from a college student to educate them about the plan to bring a city-owned internet service to Quincy. The city is working with a company called Entry Point Networks to try and develop a municipal internet service in an effort to lower costs. The company's president, Jeff Christensen, told the city council recently that door-to-door education is the first phase of the plan.
We'll do that under the direction of the city. The way we think about it is not door-to-door sales, but door-to-door education, because everybody has questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some people don't even understand really how the internet works. So the way we envision that is putting door hangers on people's doors and saying, we're going to be in the neighborhood next week. If you don't want us to knock on your door, just turn the door hanger around and we won't knock on your door. If you would like to learn more, we're going to knock on your door and answer your questions.
It's interesting.
These are college kids that will educate, and then
Sure.
we'll send them out.
Ward 3 City Councilor Ian Kane first introduced the idea of a city-provided internet service to help compete with the current provider, Comcast. Kane encourages residents to continue to offer their input on his idea by responding to a survey, which is at quincyfiber.com. Early voting will take place in Quincy next month for the March 3rd presidential primary. City Clerk Nicole Crispo says that voters may cast their ballots at Old City Hall the last week in February.
Which we're very excited about. We realize it's going to be a very busy time. And so we are having 5 days of early voting.
Oh, okay. Even for
And-
the primary?
Even for the primary.
okay.
It'll be, excuse me, February 24th through the 28th.
Okay.
It will be at City Hall in the lower level of the Great Hall.
Crispo says the last day to register to vote in the March 3rd primary is February the 12th, and the city clerk's office will be open until 8 o'clock that evening. Well, the American Red Cross is making an urgent appeal for blood and platelet donations during the winter months. The organization says there were 500 fewer blood drives over the holidays, resulting in a critical shortage. Right now, the Red Cross says there's less than a 3-day supply of type O blood. As an incentive, anybody who donates blood or platelets through January 19th will be automatically entered for a chance to go to Super Bowl 54 on February 2nd at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. Appointments to make a donation can be made using the Red Cross donor app, by visiting redcrossblood.org, or by calling 1-800-RED-CROSS. Blood drives will be held here in Quincy January 25th at the Bethany Congregational Church and on January 27th at the Sons of Italy Hall. And now that you're up to date with weather and news, let's check out our programming lineup for later on today here on Quincy Access Television. Starts at 5 o'clock with a replay of this program currently in Quincy. Then at 6, Faces of South Asia. Topic tonight is sustainability. Currently in Quincy, the interviews at 6:30. We feature Tom Clasby from the Kennedy Center tonight. Then In the Know at 7 o'clock with Norfolk County Sheriff Jerry McDermott. At 7:30, the Norfolk County Prevention Coalition program Vaping Education. Quincy in Focus 2019, the year in review, 8 o'clock on Channel 8. And an At the Library concert series tonight at 10. It's the Arnaz Quartet's Encore. Finally, at 11 o'clock, join us for Democracy Now! Watch Channel 9 every day. You'll learn about Quincy City Department's different committee activities. Starts at 5:30 with Quincy in Focus. Your police department at 6 p.m. Tonight we look at their social media. FYI with the Quincy Health Department at 6:30 tonight. It's Taste and Smell. On AM Quincy tonight at 7, Counselor at Large Noel DeBona. A legislative update at 7:30, State Representative Bruce Ayers and his guest, Representative Ruth Balzer. 8 o'clock at the Kennedy Center, a performance by singer Dennis O'Gorman. The inauguration of Quincy Mayor Thomas Koch and the city councilors, 9 o'clock on Channel 9. And at 10:15, an At the Library concert series. Tonight it's Women in World Jazz. Get a complete program schedule on our website. Just go to qatv.org and click on Program Schedule. Also, do please like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Don't forget, too, to check out our weekly ad in the Quincy Sun. Coming up, we take a look at a few of the current events and activities we're featuring on our electronic bulletin board on Channel 8 for your information. So please stay tuned. We're back with you in just 1 minute. Welcome back. Here is a check of some of the current events and activities featured right now in our electronic bulletin board on Channel 8 for you to know about, like that one. The National Active and Retired Federal Employees Executive Board meeting is at 1 o'clock this afternoon, then the regular meetings at 1:30, both at the Morissette Post on Liberty Street over in West Quincy. Quincy Art Association offering winter classes in oil, pastels, clay, drawing, and a whole lot more for all abilities. Just visit their website. It's quincyartma.org. You'll get a complete program schedule. You can even register right online. Another information session about the literacy program at the Thomas Crane Public Library is being held today. It's through noontime, so hurry up, get over there to the main branch on Washington Street in Quincy Center. Call 376-1314 or send an email to the address on your screen there for more information. And don't forget about the Quincy Farmers Market Winter Market at the YMCA every Friday from 11:30 to 3. It runs right through February the 14th. You can learn all about it on their website, quincyfarmersmarket.com. If you have an event or an activity you'd like to promote, visit our website, qatv.org. Just download a bulletin board request form, fill it out, send it in. We'll get your message up here on Channel 8 too. Coming up, we check in with Lisa Braxton of the National Fire Protection Association and try and help keep you safe. That's next. Welcome back, and this is unfortunately the time of year when a lot of home fires and home accidents take place. Of course, more folks are home and indoors much longer, using their heating systems, using space heaters, using candles perhaps. So we've asked Lisa Braxton from the National Fire Protection Association here in Quincy to come back on the program and share with us some safety tips. Happy New Year, Lisa.
Well, Happy New Year to you.
So thanks for coming over again. Really appreciate
Sure.
it. And hopefully we don't have to use you for any emergencies.
Oh, I hope not.
Or
I really
anything
do
like
hope
that.
not.
We're trying to prevent those.
Right.
Before we talk about that, though, tell me a little bit about the NFPA. There's always, new folks, I think, watching that maybe aren't familiar with your over 100-year-old organization.
Yes,
You've been around a
National
while.
Fire Protection Association was founded in 1896.
Yeah.
We are a nonprofit global organization. We produce more than 300 consensus codes and standards. So that includes when you see the exit signs that are lit in doorways in public places, the dimensions of windows so that firefighters can come in and rescue people. We write all kinds of codes and standards, and we have the mission of reducing death and injury due to fire and other hazards.
Right. You are considered the gold standard internationally.
Yes, we are an international organization.
Right,
Yes, we are.
for safety procedures, safety protocols, any kind of new construction project, that, like right across the way here in Quincy, I'm sure NFPA codes come into play, right down to putting addition onto your house.
And we've also talked about active shooter. We have standards
Really?
for that. So we are right at the edge of whenever something new is a concern, we go ahead and when it's a safety concern, we bring in others from other safety organizations, and we work on those things as well with standards.
Absolutely, yeah. And I know that a lot of the information you make free and available to the public, as well as to municipalities and governments as well.
Yes, our codes are free to look at
Right.
online, and that's at nfpa.org.
Sure, absolutely. So is it true then that this time of year is kind of unfortunately the time when you see more residential fires?
Yes, home fires happen more often during this season, during the winter season, and a big reason for that is because of heating issues. So we want people to be very careful when it comes to heating their homes. We've seen where some people have not used their space heaters properly. For instance, I know some instances where individuals used an extension cord to plug in their space heater and it overheated and caused a fire. We tell people to plug the space heater directly into the outlet and only plug that into the outlet, only one heat-producing appliance into the outlet. And also we talk about the 3-foot circumference. Make sure that the space heater is 3 feet away from anything that can burn. That includes pets, for instance, your bedding, those kinds of things. And there are still some individuals who have the older space heaters that don't have the safety mechanisms. So swap out the old ones for the newer ones that if it were to tip over, it would shut off immediately. And always use a very sturdy surface for your space heaters. And we say turn it off. If you're going to bed, turn it off. If you're going to leave the room, if you're leaving the house, turn the space heater off.
Yeah, and probably try and use it at the lowest level possible to stay warm, because even the cords get warm. I mean, I've noticed, even if you're just using the single cord from the heater into one outlet like you're supposed to, even that gets warm.
Well, one issue with the cords is we tell people to make sure that the cords are not frayed. So inspect your cord every year that you pull the space heater out, and don't allow it to be run underneath the carpet or underneath the sofa, because you don't want the cord to get frayed.
Sure, yeah. You've been kind enough to send over a lot of photographs to give examples to folks as to ways to, yes, use things properly and the way to not do things. So why don't we start with the first one and let you talk a little bit about what we're seeing here.
Okay, so we see, this is one of our social media cards. So we at NFPA have found some clever, accurate ways to share on social media
now,
these
is that
important
you there,
messages.
Lisa? Snow blowing? Okay.
Oh no, I have never used a snowblower. I wouldn't even know how to use a snowblower. But it's all about not being affected by carbon monoxide. We want people to make sure that their vents are clear. In a snowstorm, sometimes snow gets sucked into the vents for the dryer, furnace, those kinds of things. Make sure that the snow is clear of your vents so that there is not a carbon monoxide problem. And while we're on that topic, it's so important to have them in your home. Have carbon monoxide alarms on every level of your home, and also reading the manufacturer's instructions so you know where exactly to put them, because carbon monoxide is odorless and you can't smell it, you can't see it. So if you have a backup and there's a problem with CO in your home, you wouldn't know it, but the CO alarm will tell you that. And also, I'd like to mention a big concern I have is for these newer keyless ignition cars, where people are not having to use their key to turn the car off or on, and they drive into their garage and they get out of the car and don't realize that the car is still running.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
That's happened. Some people have been have gotten very sick over that. Some people have passed away over that. So if you have that CO alarm in your home on all levels of your home, that will tell you that there's a CO poisoning going on, and to alert you to go ahead and get out.
Okay, that really is the first line of defense. And people say, well, those detectors are so expensive. Please.
Yeah, they're not really that expensive.
They used to be, I guess, when
right.
they
Your
first came
smoke
out.
alarms and your CO alarms, they can cost under $10.
Oh, really?
You have a lot of choices, and so it's worth it because they can save your life.
Yeah, absolutely. And what action should you take if that alarm does go off? What should you do?
Well, if the CO alarm goes off, it's important to go to a fresh air location. If you can't leave the home, open a window and stick your head out. Call 911 immediately. And even beforehand, before there is a problem, it's a good idea to call your local fire department to find out, if my CO alarm goes off, what number do I call to have it checked? But it's so important, if that alarm goes off, go to a fresh air location.
Okay, number one certainly is the most important thing. You mentioned the vents for furnaces. A lot of the newer heating systems, do exhaust out the side of the house, not at the chimney anymore. I guess the first line of defense is know where that is, right?
Right,
know where that vent is,
right.
To be sure and keep it clear.
And you mentioned chimneys. It's important when we were talking about fireplaces to have the chimney and the vents inspected by a qualified professional once a year. That's a very good idea. And then with sometimes when people are using the fireplace, there are sparks that fly around, and having a heat-tempered grate in front of the fireplace, so that way people don't get burned, don't get injured from it.
Sure, absolutely. Let's check out the next photo and see what we have here. Oh,
Well,
okay. Speaking of space heaters.
Yes, we have a couple who is looking over a magazine, enjoying themselves, but you see centered in the photo is a space heater. And we always say, give space heaters space, and 3 feet. So that heater is 3 feet away. So they are heating their home safely, that temporary heating that the space heater offers safely, and they're keeping the space heater 3 feet away.
Okay, I think there's another example of that in the next photo, just to kind of accentuate that, yeah.
Yeah, so if you're not sure, just pull out your yardstick or pull out some kind of a ruler and measure.
Okay.
Measure your 3 feet to make sure that you have the heater 3 feet away from anything that can burn.
Okay, now it's on a wood floor. Is that, recommended, or should that be up on a
That's-
tile or something?
No, that's fine. The
Okay.
way they're constructed, the bottom of it is fine. It's just
Okay.
where the heat is coming out of, that's really the issue.
That's the danger zone right
Yes,
there. Okay, all right, very
yes.
good. Let's take a look at the next one. Ah, yes.
Candles.
They're
We say-
beautiful, Lisa. They're
They
lovely.
are. We say
yeah.
candle with care. Make
Oh,
sure that
very good.
your candle is at least 12 inches away from anything that can burn.
Okay.
And one big concern is that people will sometimes, light a candle. It gives a nice smell and ambiance, and then they doze off to sleep. We don't want that to happen. We don't want people to keep the candle going while they're asleep. If you're getting sleepy, blow out the candle. If you're going to leave the room, blow out the candle. If you're
Okay.
leaving home, blow out the candle. And if you have pets around, you don't want your cat and your dog to get curious and
Yeah.
get near the candle and have their tail catch on fire
Oh, yeah.
and have them in a panic run around your house and light fires all over your house.
Has that happened?
That does happen. That has
Really?
happened, yes.
Wow.
So be careful and candle with care.
Okay, certainly they could knock it over at the very least, right?
They can knock it over, and
Yeah.
that's an issue too. So we say put your candle on a sturdy surface.
Yeah, keep it away from children, I'm guessing.
Right,
as
that
well.
too. And
Yeah.
if you're lighting a candle, pull your hair away from it, pull your sleeves away from it. You don't want yourself to catch on fire.
Certainly, yeah. My gosh, the things they have to think about. But you've seen these things happen, so that's why these codes are developed.
Oh,
Right?
right,
It's
exactly.
from past experiences.
Right.
Okay, get the fake ones.
Well, yeah, well, the lovely battery-operated
Yes.
candles that can smell and look like the real thing. There are
Right.
some battery-operated candles that even have the flicker
Yes.
on them, and so we do advise that people consider to get the battery-operated candles.
Sure. Okay, next up. Ah, yes.
Yes, we're talking about portable generators because at this time of the year there are power outages, and sometimes people do use the portable generators
Yeah.
to generate power into their home. Make sure that you're using the generator outside of your home, as far away from your home as possible, with it vented away from the house,
Okay.
away from the windows.
So where the exhaust is, turn that away from the
Turn it
windows.
away from the house. And
Okay.
of course, the carbon monoxide alarms come into play there too.
Yep.
If there's a problem, your CO alarm will alert you, let you know that there's poisonous gas backing into your home.
Okay, and just like really any combustible engine, make sure it's cooled off before you put more gas in it, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, definitely. And you store your gasoline in a safe place away from the living area of your home.
Okay, good to know as well. Goes back to the car in the garage scenario with carbon monoxide, right?
Right, have those alarms.
This could generate the same deadly gas.
And if I can just toss one little aside in,
Please.
hotels. Not all hotels have CO alarms.
Oh.
And there have been people who've gotten sick at hotels. All kinds of hotels, motels, hotels. And so we advise people to bring your CO alarm with you. You can bring one with you when you travel.
Okay.
Just to make sure that you're being protected.
That's a great idea. I never would have thought of that. Yeah, maybe you're staying at an Airbnb or something, or
Right.
just someone's home, and maybe
Right.
they're not properly equipped. So
Or even a commercial hotel. You just never
really?
know.
Okay. All right. Next up.
Oh, okay. So we say sometimes it's good to push buttons. Well, at least when it comes to smoke alarms, it can be good
Yes.
to push buttons. So we want people to test the smoke alarm once a month, at
Okay.
least once a month, using the test button to make sure it's working. And if your smoke alarm starts chirping, if you have a traditional alarm and it's chirping, swap out the battery for a new battery. And if it's still chirping, then get a new alarm. And if you have a 10-year alarm, then that should be good for 10 years.
Okay.
But push the button once a month to
And
make
they
sure it's working.
They have expiration dates on them, actually, I learned. So
Yes, the
there's a date right on
manufacturer
them, yeah.
date. So if you have a long life alarm, 10 years, it should last up to 10 years.
All right, good to know. What about location, placement of the detectors?
Smoke
Lisa?
alarm
Yeah.
should be either on the ceiling, high up on the ceiling, or high up on the wall.
Okay.
But there are directions that come with the alarm that
Yep.
can tell you exactly what to do.
Okay, I think we have one more left to show folks. A couple more, actually. Yeah.
Oh, electrical safety.
Yep.
It's so important to plug heat-producing appliances directly into the outlet
Like we talked about
and just
before.
use one heat-producing
Yeah.
appliance in the outlet.
No
And if
extension
you-
cords, no power strips.
Right,
Just
and if
right
you
into
need
the
to have
outlet, yeah.
electrical work done, get a qualified professional to come in and work on
Good
your
idea.
electrical system.
So, and the last one here is, we talked about this earlier.
Right, about the fireplace and the heat-tempered gate to make
Yep.
sure that everyone, children, your pets, your guests are not harmed by any sparks that come out.
Sure. And any combustibles, keep it away as well.
Right,
Yeah.
right, exactly.
All right. So good to talk to you, Lisa. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
Have a safe new year.
Yes, we will try.
All right. Just enough time to recap the forecast for you for the rest of the day today. Kind of what you see is what you get out there. Lots of clouds, temperatures in the mid-40s this afternoon, down to the mid-30s this evening. We'll do it all over again tomorrow. Pretty much a carbon copy of today. Clouds mid-40s, a little nicer on Wednesday, and chillier on Thursday with some morning rain. Thanks again to Lisa Braxton of the NFPA for joining us today.
Sure.
Thanks to our crew. Thank you for watching. Friday at 11:30, it's Dr. Wayne Westcott of the Exercise Science Program at Quincy College here on another edition of Currently in Quincy. We will see you then. Thank you so much.